The most dangerous breakup isn't loud. It's when a woman becomes silent. No arguments. No long paragraphs at 2 a.m. that look like a Netflix documentary titled, "Why You Keep Ignoring Me." No dramatic Instagram quotes. No throwing your hoodie out the window like it's evidence in a criminal investigation. Just silence. And gentlemen, that silence is terrifying. When a high-value woman stops complaining, stops arguing, and suddenly becomes too calm, you are not experiencing peace. You are experiencing the emotional loading screen before the relationship ends. Most men completely miss this stage. Why? Because men hear silence and think, finally, no stress. Meanwhile, she's emotionally packing her bags like a secret agent preparing for extraction. She already accepted the breakup 3 months ago, while you were still replying lol to serious conversations like your emotional intelligence was powered by expired Wi-Fi. And the scary part, high-value women rarely leave impulsively. They leave after giving chances, explanations, warnings, hints, speeches, TED Talks, and sometimes a full emotional PowerPoint presentation with charts nobody paid attention to. So when she finally becomes quiet, she's tired. It's nothing dramatic, not emotional, just done. And honestly, that's what makes it dangerous. Because loud people still want attention. Silent people want distance. That's why emotionally mature men pay attention early. They understand that respect, consistency, and emotional stability matter more than empty promises. And "good morning beautiful" texts sent after disappearing for 2 business days. If you're enjoying this video, subscribe to the Elegance Standard, because modern elegance isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about emotional discipline in a world full of chaos. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and stay until the end, because the next truth might change how you see relationships forever. Most men completely miss the warning signs. Not because women are confusing, but because men sometimes have the emotional awareness of a microwave. A high-value woman rarely wakes up one morning like a movie villain, screaming, "That's it, I'm leaving," while dramatic orchestra music plays in the background. No, she communicates first, repeatedly. She tells you what's bothering her. She explains how she feels. She gives hints, then clearer hints, then hints so obvious they practically arrive with subtitles and PowerPoint transitions. But many men still respond with legendary phrases like, "You're overthinking, it's not that deep," or the classic emotional disaster package. Sir, telling an upset woman to relax is like pouring gasoline on a barbecue and hoping for peace. Eventually, disappear quietly. Some things change. She stops repeating herself, stops arguing, stops asking for attention, stops trying to fix things. Now, the average man sees this and thinks, wow, the relationship is finally peaceful. Meanwhile, the relationship is quietly collapsing, like a luxury apartment built by motivational speakers on Instagram. Because the quiet phase doesn't come from happiness. It comes from exhaustion. A woman becomes quiet when she realizes she's speaking to someone who listens like a decorative pillow, present physically, useless emotionally. And that's why this stage is dangerous. When she stops complaining, the relationship is usually in danger. Because complaining still means emotional investment. Silence means she's emotionally packing her bags while sitting right beside you. And the scary part, the signs are almost invisible. She still smiles, still replies, still acts normal, but emotionally, she's already halfway out the door. And you're still thinking everything is fine, because she sent a thumbs up emoji yesterday. The most painful breakups don't start physically. They start emotionally. Long before she leaves the relationship, she quietly leaves the expectation that things will change. And that process happens slowly, dangerously, slowly. At first, she still argues, still explains, still gets emotional. Why? Because emotionally invested people react. But then one day, something shifts. The arguments disappear. The frustration disappears. Even the disappointment disappears. Now, most men see this and celebrate too early, like a football player doing backflips in the first half. He thinks, finally, she stopped complaining. Meanwhile, she stopped complaining because she stopped believing. That's the part men miss. A high-value woman doesn't leave impulsively. She leaves after mentally surviving the breakup alone. Once that emotional detachment begins, her energy changes completely. She becomes calmer, colder, more distant, not because she suddenly hates you, but because emotionally withdrawing is her way of protecting herself from continuous disappointment. Honestly, this stage is terrifyingly subtle. She still says, "Good morning," still sends memes, still asks if you ate, but emotionally, she's already operating like a customer service representative on her final week before resignation. Polite, professional, spiritually unavailable. Then suddenly, she starts focusing on herself. New routines, new goals, new mindset. Gym consistency appears out of nowhere. Skin glowing, reading books, drinking water like a wellness influencer who just discovered lemon slices exist. And men usually notice way too late. Because while he's relaxing, assuming everything is stable, she's emotionally rebuilding her life without him in it. That's why silence is dangerous. Silence is the final warning. Not yelling, not anger, not dramatic speeches that sound like courtroom testimony. Silence. Because by the time a high-value woman becomes emotionally peaceful without you, she may have already accepted life without you too. Quiet women are the hardest to get back, not because they're cold, not because they're heartless, but because silence usually means the emotional grieving process has already happened privately. See, loud exits still contain emotion. If she's yelling, arguing, sending long messages at 1:13 a.m. that require scrolling like ancient historical documents, there's still emotional attachment there. Anger is an emotional investment, but silence is emotional closure, wearing lip gloss and protecting its peace. Most men completely misunderstand this stage. They think, she's calm now, maybe things are getting better. No, sir, things are getting finalized. Because when a woman becomes emotionally calm during disrespect, she's preparing her exit. That calmness is not comfort, it's detachment. Once respect disappears, attraction usually follows right behind it, like a loyal assistant carrying emotional luggage. That's why high-value women prioritize peace over drama. They stop trying to win arguments, stop chasing explanations, stop begging for effort. Because mature women eventually realize something powerful. You cannot build emotional security with someone whose communication skills disappear faster than Wi-Fi during rain. Honestly, the timing is almost comedic. Because this is usually the exact moment men suddenly become romantic philosophers. Now, he's sending paragraphs, buying flowers, posting mysterious sad quotes online like he just survived a Victorian heartbreak novel. After months of emotional neglect, suddenly, her bags. Remember, she matters. And this is the moment most men suddenly start trying. After months of ignoring the problem, now, he notices the distance, the colder replies, the reduced affection. But by then, she's emotionally exhausted. Because high-value women don't leave because of one mistake. They leave after repeated disappointment slowly destroys emotional trust. And once a woman finally experiences peace without chaos, going back, he starts feeling like voluntarily reinstalling problems she has already deleted from her life. Now, let's talk about the behaviors that quietly push high-value women away. Because, contrary to popular belief, women don't randomly wake up one morning and decide, you know what, let me emotionally detach for entertainment purposes. No, women don't slowly lose feelings by accident. They slowly lose trust. One of the fastest ways to destroy that trust is emotional inconsistency. Being loving one day, distant the next, then romantic again after midnight. Like an emotionally unstable Uber notification system. Nobody feels secure around unpredictability, especially when every serious conversation gets answered with, "Lol, sir," replying "lol" to emotional concerns like your emotional maturity is running on low battery is not communication. It's a relationship with self-sabotage with emojis. Another major problem? Lack of leadership. Leadership is not about controlling people. It's about stability, direction, reliability. A high-value woman wants to feel like the relationship has emotional structure, not like both of you are surviving inside a group project nobody prepared for. Then there's disrespect disguised as jokes. Those sarcastic comments in public, embarrassing her around friends, mocking her feelings and calling it humor. That's not confidence. That's emotional immaturity wearing sunglasses indoors. Eventually, even loyal women get tired of being taken for granted, because loyalty is valuable. But some people treat loyalty like unlimited free trials, assuming it will always be there no matter how poorly they behave. Then suddenly she changes. Now, she's less available, less affectionate, more emotionally guarded, and men panic, especially after realizing she's no longer impressed by empty words from someone whose biggest life goal is collecting social media validation from strangers named Mia in the comment section. Low ambition pushes people away too, because high-value women admire growth, purpose, discipline, not a man whose entire future plan is, we'll figure it out while scrolling TikTok for 4 consecutive business hours. Now here's the part many people misunderstand completely. High-value women are not searching for perfection. They're searching for peace. And honestly, that changes everything. Social media keeps convincing people that women only care about luxury, money, and grand romantic performances filmed like movie trailers. But real emotional connection works differently. Luxury impresses attention seekers. Emotional safety impresses high-value women. A mature woman wants emotional stability, not a man who changes moods every 6 minutes like a motivational podcast hosted by unresolved childhood trauma. She wants consistency, someone reliable, someone whose words and actions actually know each other personally. Because nothing is more exhausting than dating someone who says, "I'll always be there for you," then disappears emotionally faster than salary money after online shopping. And calm masculine energy matters too. Not loud dominance, not fake alpha performances, not acting emotionally unavailable because a TikTok influencer with sunglasses told you real men never care. Sir, pretending not to care is not masculine. It's just confusing customer service energy in human form. A high-value woman feels safest around calm confidence. The kind of man who doesn't panic during problems, doesn't scream during disagreements, doesn't turn every conflict into an Olympic competition for who can hurt the other person faster. And ambition matters deeply too. Not because women expect perfection, but because purpose is attractive. A man working towards something meaningful naturally creates emotional security. Meanwhile, into a man whose daily schedule is wake up, complain, scroll social media, watching success mindset videos while avoiding actual success, creates anxiety instead. And perhaps most importantly, women want reassurance, protection, emotional safety, not chaos. Because after a long day, nobody wants to come home to emotional confusion sponsored by insecurity and poor communication. Peace is attractive. That's why high-value women don't stay where they constantly feel emotionally drained. They stay where they feel emotionally safe enough to relax, laugh, grow, and finally stop surviving love, like it's a full-time emergency situation. And here's the brutal truth most men learn far too late. Sometimes, they suddenly have a breakup. Doesn't happen when she leaves. It happens the moment she realizes she deserves better. That's the real ending. Not the unfollowing. Not the goodbye text. Not the dramatic, "we need to talk" conversation that suddenly makes a grown man stare at the ceiling like he's solving ancient mathematics. The real breakup begins quietly, inside her mind. The moment she realizes she's constantly explaining basic respect, begging for consistency, asking for emotional effort from someone who responds to serious conversations with, "Damn, that's crazy." Honestly, that realization changes everything. Because once a high-value woman emotionally detaches, something dangerous happens. She stops trying to convince you to value her. And the most painful part, high-value women rarely announce their departure. They simply stop fighting for a place. They no longer feel valued. That's why so many men feel shocked afterward. Suddenly, she's happier, calmer, glowing mysteriously, like she unlocked a premium version of peace nobody told him about. Meanwhile, he's sitting there confused, replaying old messages like an emotional detective investigating how ignoring problems somehow created more problems. But mature relationships survive through emotional discipline, respect, consistency, effort, not ego, not pride, not pretending everything is fine while the relationship is collapsing harder than New Year gym motivation by February. And maybe that's the lesson here. The people who truly matter usually leave quietly after giving too many chances loudly. So if you want to become the kind of man people naturally respect, subscribe to the Elegance Standard, like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and join us for more videos about modern elegance, emotional intelligence, discipline, and self-respect. Because modern elegance isn't about looking rich. It's about emotional discipline most people never develop.